third. Kyle Schwarber's going to hit third as Anthony Rizzo gets the day off. Jeimer Candelario, first career RBI in his 2017 debut last night. Montero the catcher. Baez playing short. Addison Russell a late scratch. Lestella's at second. Almora Jr. in center. And the pitcher Hendricks bats ninth.
Rockies afield, set up this way this afternoon. Ian Desmond is in left. Charlie Blackmon center. Carlos Gonzalez is in right. Arenado, the four-time Gold Glover. Boy, he was really good yesterday. He plays third. Pat Valaika, who plays all over the field, making his first big league start at short. DJ LeMahieu's at second. Mark Reynolds is the first stacker, and the veteran catcher is Ryan Hannigan, starting pitcher for the Rockies today. Herman Marquez, 0-2. He's only made 3 starts, 7.31 ERA. Had a cup of coffee with the Rockies last year. But big arm, young kid, just 22 years of age. Part of the deal that they made with Tampa Bay prior to the last season, sending Corey Dickerson the other way, and they got Marquez and reliever Jake McGee. Will touch 98, 99 with a heater, sit comfortably at 95. Good curveball and a developing change.
Crew chief Eric Cooper gets the plate, and we're underway. A strike right down Main Street on John Jay, who's the only Cub with previous at-bats against Marquez, 1 for 2. And the leadoff man, as always, is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. And if Jay gets a hit here, Benny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. 2 strikes on Jay.
I think if the Cubs score first, the Rockies have to change their jerseys.
Swing and a miss. Or strike 3.
Got some funky color going on out there today. So that's that breaking ball. It's a plus pitch. It kind of has a slurvy break to it, but it's not sloppy. It's very sharp, tight rotation. That can be a big swing and miss pitch for Marquez. So a third consecutive look at a rookie pitcher as the Rockies trot out these young prospects.
Chris Bryant takes a strike. 2 hits in game 2, including a home run to the opposite way. He is now 8 out of 19 with 2 home runs in this ballpark. Fly ball out in the center. And now coming way in is Blackmon. Wind is blowing in, not very hard. 2 down. And it's Kyle Schwarber. So Rizzo getting the day off today. Joe had toyed with the idea of just flip-flopping Schwarber and Rizzo, having Anthony lead off and Schwarber in the 3 spot, but in the end he decided Riz needs a day.
Yeah, and that's a point Joe has made frequently, that essentially in his mind Rizzo and Schwarber are the same guy with their approach. Both sluggers who are patient and will take walks. There's more strikeout in Kyle's game than there is in Anthony's.
So what's up with the everyday guys when they're out of the lineup? They hang together. Rizzo and Zobrist. Do they not mingle with the bench players? Or?
Well, the bench players are playing now because
that's true.
They're on the bench.
The 2-1 is lifted foul to left.
That's just Zoe lobbying, trying to get a bigger role in that the Brizzo Corporation. Continuing to push for a larger role there.
53 degrees. And we start after a 50-minute 5-0 rain delay. That's foul.
It's a little cheese at the knees, 98 miles an hour, and it looks pretty easy coming out of the hand of Marquez. Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, traditionally has been big up and down, and not so much east and west. We'll see how it plays out.
Just missed off the outside, so there you go. The turn and the pitch. He walked him. So the Cubs have a 2-out base runner, and here is Jeimer Candelario.
Cubs batting just .219 in the month of May. They have a bunch of struggling hitters. So nice to get a guy up here who is doing anything but struggling down at AAA, hitting .340. He was slugging well over .600.
Fly to right, easy play. Gonzalez. 2-out walk, doesn't yield a run. Rockies coming up against Kyle Hendricks when we come back. Southwest starting lineup. Charlie Blackmon back in there. He did not start game 2 last night. LeMahieu did. So did Arenado. Carlos Gonzalez cleaning up. Mark Reynolds recently had a 4-game home run streak. Desmond is in left. Valleca at short. Ryan Hannigan off to a good start with the Rockies, and Marquez, the pitcher, bats 9th.
Cubs in the field, a little different look here this afternoon. Big pasture to cover. Schwarber, Almora Jr., J, left, center, right. Baez makes the start at short with the Russell scratch. Tommy La Stella was supposed to play third. He's going to move to second. Chris Bryant was supposed to play right. He moves to third. Candelario at first. Montero behind the plate. Lexus starting pitcher is Kyle Hendricks. And the green grass grows all around, all around. Lexus experience amazing. The professor has been on a nice roll of late. Scoreless baseball in 2 of his last 3 starts. And he's got that ERA down to 3.51 now. 2-1 for Kyle.
And a strike.
Talking about pitching in this ballpark, Kyle said sometimes you just got to back off the gas pedal a little bit. Try to throw that curveball harder. It just doesn't spin. It doesn't bite. So you got to take a little off. Same with the sinker. Sacrifice velocity for movement.
Ball and 2 strikes. Blackmon, he got off the bench as a pinch hitter last night after scoring 2 runs in the opener. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
He appeared to be late on 83. He got caught thinking and just got a late start.
Now the former Cub, DJ LeMahieu. 28 years old, takes a strike.
Struck out 3 times in the ball game last night. Generally, you can count on LeMahieu to put the ball in play.
Grew up in the Detroit area. Cubs grabbed him in the 2nd round. 2009 out of LSU. Full name is David John, goes by DJ. Arenado next. Yeah, it is kind of a funky color matchup, as you mentioned. Blue against the purple. And that'll drop down for a base hit. Schwarber will get it back in. It's a single for LeMahieu. And we'll bring up Arenado. Had a real busy night in game 2 defensively. He has not committed an error this year. Two for 8 in the doubleheader.
I don't believe there was a single putout in the outfield last night for the Rockies, but here's some of the work of Arenado. Mr. Gold Glove, great range to both sides, great hands, great feet. Can do a little of that too.
1-0 pitch, fouled out of play. Be tough to follow up what John Lackey did last night. 7 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. Broken bat, one hopper picked by Bryant. Listella the turn. They go 5-4-3, and that'll be it for the Rockies in the opening inning. After 1, Cubs nothing, Rockies nothing. On CSN Chicago, get it, is presented by State Farm. Miguel Montero, 1 strike as we start the 2nd.
Here, let me get some of that for you, son, before it drips all over you. It's not an ice cream cone, Daddy. Stop bogarting the cotton candy.
Here's the pitch. It is low. Second start of the series for Montero, off to a terrific start. Getting part-time action. 1-2.
This kid develops at least an average changeup, he's going to be awfully tough.
Second strikeout for Marquez. Javier Baez comes up and hit a high home run to right last night. With this sort of launch angle, don't necessarily expect the ball to leave the yard. Look at the hit probability according to StatCast, powered by AWS.
Yeah, the light air obviously helping that ball carry into the seats, but most days, most ballpark, a ball hit the other way with that trajectory is likely going to be an F9 in your scorecard. Talked about the Cubs with struggling hitters in May. Baez has been really good. 351 here in the month of May. He's hit 4 home runs, and he has cut way down on doing that. Strikeout numbers way down this month.
Marquez has only made 3 starts, so you can't really say there's been a trend, but he's had 2 bad ones and 1 terrific start. His best outing came in a no decision, a 2-0 loss at Arizona on April 30th. 6 shutout innings. As he fans Baez, that's number 3.
Well, McGee, the reliever, was a familiar name when they made the trade for Tampa, but I think this is the guy they really had their eyes on. At the time, just 21 years of age. He had not pitched above A ball going into last season. He was the Eastern League Pitcher of the Year last year at AA Hartford.
Well, Stella started the afternoon game yesterday, playing third. He's at second today, and he hits that one pretty well, but Blackman will grab it. And we go to the bottom of inning number 2, still scoreless.
Don't miss your chance to support the Chicago Cubs at beautiful Wrigley Field. Cubs return home next Tuesday night for the start of a long 10-game homestand. Matchups featuring the Reds, Brewers, and Giants. For tickets availability, visit Cubs.com. Well, sunny now. There's a chance of thunderstorms later on, so an early lead would be a good idea.
Absolutely. It's never a bad idea, but yeah, today would be a good thing. Carlos Gonzalez looks at a strike.
A little baby cutter at the bottom of the zone. Hendricks so good at manipulating the ball, making it move this way and that. Take a little off, as I mentioned, to create movement. Throws his changeups to both sides of the plate.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Fourth career start in this ballpark for Hendricks. You mentioned his first start here back in August of 2014. It was a gem. He went 8 innings, gave up just 1 earned run. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's his second. These two starters, after a little rain delay, have looked very sharp early on.
Really sells that changeup. Great arm speed. Hitter sees fastball and it just never gets there. Well, it ultimately gets there, just a little bit later than they anticipate.
One of the better stories of the early season, Mark Reynolds, 4th in the majors with his 12 home runs, 3rd with 30 RBIs. This home run in the opener yesterday extended his homer streak to 4 games. He did not homer in game 2, but he did walk 3 times.
Right, which was impressive in its own right, because a guy with a home run streak, especially with his history, you'd think he'd be looking to swing and willing to take those walks. And just the way he's taking pitches, you can tell he's seeing the ball well.
Worked with Cardinal hitting coach, former Cub John Mabry, and basically his thing is just keeping the bat in the zone a little longer. Also, reading his comments, it sounds like he realized, look, if I'm going to be a full-time player again, I can't keep striking out like this, as he draws the walk.
Yeah, he's been a part of that 3 true outcomes brigade: walks, home runs, and strikeouts. He's done a fair bit of all of that throughout his career. Swing, a little bit I've seen in this series, it looks a little smaller, not quite as long. So whether he's able to sustain this or it's just a guy who's in the groove right now, it remains to be seen.
Well, that profile is an interesting one, and I think because of the run scoring environment we are currently in, guys like Reynolds and Chris Carter, they're viewed more as part-time guys, although Reynolds right now playing every day. Is Desmond swinging bunt is thrown out. Adam Dunn, you think of low average, high on base, high strikeout, high home run guys. It feels like in general, I'm really generalizing here, but the industry is more about a little more contact.
Yeah, I agree.
Carter hit 41 home runs to tie for the National League lead last year, and he had a hard time finding a job. He had to sign with the Yankees to be a platoon guy. At Valleca, the shortstop in for Trevor Story.
It's interesting too when you think about it, because with all the shifting, suppressing batting average, you think there'd be a higher priority put on guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Tap toward third, tough play for Bryant. He barehands, throws, and gets him. That's a big play by Bryant, who came to the park thinking he was playing right today. Little Nolan Arenado-like at third. Still scoreless after 2. champion John Lester opens up about his journey with the Cubs. Inside Look, presented by Cadillac, premieres Monday at 7 on CSN or live stream at csnchicago.com/watch live. Albert Almora Jr. got into the lineup because of the Russell injury. So he has started every game of this series. Batting 8th. Joe has the pitcher 9th today. That's Hendricks. 1-1 the count.
Good numbers across the board for Alberts. 354 on base percentage gets your attention. He has doubled his walk rate from last year. Again, not that many ABs, but trending in the right direction.
Can load up here at the count 3-1. Fly to right, not going to carry. Fargo's got it. Here is Hendricks, who sat around for 6 hours Sunday night and then was called upon to pinch hit in the 18th and struck out to end the game. One-0. Ground ball to third. Arenado with lots of time will throw him out. These two pitchers are working like they'd like to get out of here quickly.
Like they're double parked.
Getting some early swings. Aggressive.
Well, I imagine most of the Cub hitters are going up there sitting fastball, but he has shown a real nice breaking pitch. See, second time through if they're able to make some adjustments.
You mentioned it. Easy gas, 95. Not a max effort guy by any stretch. Tapper foul. 1-2 on John Jay.
Yeah, the third pitch was a changeup, and you see where it is on our Toyota pitch cast there. It was right in the middle of the zone and up. And you throw enough of those, and sooner or later you're going to pay for it.
Cubs travel to St. Louis. Off day tomorrow. 3-game series starts Friday night. The Cardinals got off to that really slow start. They've been red hot lately. They're in Miami tonight. And they've got Lance Lynn on the mound. He's been terrific. He goes in with a 2.04 earned run average. So the Cubs will not face Lynn this weekend. Fouled away, still 2-2.
Joe Madden was asked before the game about the pitching plan for the weekend. Still haven't decided what they're going to do to replace Anderson in the rotation.
Yeah, Saturday is the key day because of the rain out Monday. Someone would have to go on short rest if it's one of the 4 guys in the rotation, and the Cubs are not likely to do that. Marquez has a strikeout and each of the first 3 innings, 4 overall, and we're still tied at 0.
This is your Miller Lite game report, and Kyle Hendricks trying to match the historically good outing by John Lackey last night, who told us after the game he was due. He didn't think he'd ever been that good in this place, taking a lot of beatings, he said, at Coors Field. But guys, maybe his best line of the night came when he was complimented about being such a tough out at the plate, and he said, the only thing I care about when it comes to hitting is that I am much better than John Lester, and right now he's going to owe me a lot of money at the end of the season. Those two always having a lot of fun with the hitting.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, he's hitting over 300, right?
Yeah, I think he was 300 before the knock yesterday, but there's the work on the mound. Brilliant stuff. 10 punch-outs and 7 shutout innings. First visiting pitcher to do that. A combination of 10 or more punch-outs and 7 shutouts since Pedro Martinez.
Two and 1 on the catcher Hannigan. Make it 2-2. Rockies had a note today regarding the doubleheader. According to Elias, it was the first time in 15 years the starting pitchers for one team, as Hendricks strikes out Hannigan, have made at least 150 major league starts, while the starting pitchers for the other team were rookies. So you had Arrieta and Lackey against Senzatella and Freeland. Marquez fouls out of play.
You know what song I have in my head right now?
What's that?
Me and Bobby McGee.
Any reason?
Yeah, Freeland. Freeland's just another word for nothing left to lose. I don't know, just when you said that, it started playing in my head.
I don't know if that's the word.
No, it's not.
Song.
No,
it's freedom, right?
Freedom,
yeah.
Freedom.
It works.
Yeah. If I were him, that would be my walk-up song.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Professor keeping it out of play with 4 punch-outs in the early going.
Marquez now 0 for 11 to start his career. Now Blackman, who was scouted and actually drafted as a pitcher originally. Florida Marlins took him in the 28th round 2004. He's a left-handed pitcher. Drafted out of junior college the following year as a pitcher by the Red Sox. And eventually, in the second round out of Georgia Tech to the Rockies. Jay calling for it, and he's got it. And a quick third inning for Hendricks. Starters are dealing early.
Mother's Day weekend, but you can still treat Mom at the Park at Wrigley this Saturday, the 13th, with a ticket to Craft and Cuisine. Craft and Cuisine is a culinary and craft beverage event featuring more than 440. I almost said 400. That would have been a lot. 40 beer and wine tastings, live music, chef demonstrations, food samplings from some of Chicago's most celebrated chefs. Purchase your tickets today at parkatwrigley.com.
1-0. And Chris Bryant.
Get out of that kitchen.
One base runner for the Cubs, a walk by Schwarber in the first. Last night, Bryant with a rare opposite field home run.
He and Baez both going the other way. And talked about all the ground balls. Those were really the only two fly balls in the game. They both ended up home runs. Actually play him a little bit the other way in the outfield. Strong pull on the infield, but they keep the second baseman on the right side, and we've seen Chris get some base hits in recent weeks, just pretty much where LeMahieu is standing now.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop Valleca, and his throw is barely in time. Looked like he was a little flat-footed when he made the throw.
Yeah, I was going to say, most slugging third basemen, you could way back a little bit, but with Bryant, you better come and get it. As we see and say time and time again. Was content to lay back on that one, and then really had to juice it across the diamond to get him.
Schwarber takes outside for a ball. Way up in the air. It might be 2 miles high. Caught by Arenado in foul ground. Rosario, switch hitter. Born in New York City, but his family moved to the Dominican Republic when he was 5. So just 23 years old as he grounds out to LeMahieu. Bottom 4, still 0-0.
Official Kids Club of the Chicago Cubs. Team up with Clark as a member of Clark's crew and receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise. Visit Cubs.com/kids to sign up your young Cub so they can be part of the fun all season long. Oh my goodness, that's a quality baby right there. Rocking a cool lid. Got some serious cheeks working.
2-3-4 for the Rocks and a strike on LeMahieu. Can I make a prediction? Just based on what has or hasn't occurred in this series. Pretty good chance we're going to see Greg Holland and Wade Davis at some point today. LeMahieu grounds out. I say that because neither has pitched in the series. For Davis, his last outing was Sunday, and with an off day tomorrow, a lot of times the manager would like to get his closers some work.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind later, regardless of the score. Both guys off to very good starts with their new teams. And they pitched together in the Royals bullpen.
Yeah, part of that tremendous pen that the Royals featured.
While the Cubs are off tomorrow, the Rockies welcome in the Dodgers to start a 4-game weekend set. Two-0 to Arenado, up the middle, not hit very hard, surrounded by La Stella, but the throw is late, and that's an infield hit for Arenado. Second hit of the day, both belonging to the Rockies.
And LeMahieu singled in the first, and now this broken bat, soft line drive knock for Arenado. Hendricks over his last 3 starts, a 1.04 ERA, 17 in the 3rd innings, just 2 runs allowed. Been good here today, hasn't given up much hard contact at all. He's punched out 4 already.
Swung on and missed. Or strike 1.
Yeah, I think he likes that elevated fastball to Cargo. Elevated fastball changeup did him in last time. Gonzalez a power hitter. Most left-handed power hitters like the ball down and in a little bit. 25 home runs last year. A couple of years ago, he popped 40 of them.
Swing and a miss on the changeup. 1-2. People may forget Gonzalez originally signed with the Diamondbacks. Never got to the big leagues with the D-backs before he got traded to Oakland. Baez didn't get the ball, and nobody out on the play. In the shift, LaStella was unable to get over to second in time, so Javi knew he had to get there by himself, and he tried to do the second thing first.
Yeah, and the play was just field the ball and throw it to first base. I think Javi, because he had a long run to get to second base anyway, and LaStella wasn't going to get there. It's always a tough read. A middle infielder used to playing for double plays in a situation like that, but sometimes you just have to realize that it's not there and take the out. Javi made a big error yesterday, trying to make an aggressive play, a throw to third base that got away. You know, he's always looking to make the big play, and I think sometimes going ahead and making the short play is the way to go.
Well, you hope that is not an omen like we saw yesterday. The team that struggled defensively lost each end of the doubleheaders. You see LaStella, he would have gotten a second in time, but looked like Baez was thinking, I better get there myself.
Yeah.
One and one on Reynolds.
I mean, it's not an easy play because you're conditioned to try to nail that lead man, whether it's flipping it or taking yourself. But given the positioning and where he was trying to field that ball, I think the play is let's go ahead and catch it and throw it across the diamond.
Well, you can really tell Mark Reynolds is seeing the ball incredibly well. Doesn't seem to be in a hurry, does he? Waiting for his pitch. And because he's been so hot, he hasn't really been getting his pitch very much in this series. Takes that one low. 3-1.
Yeah, it's a chase pitch for a lot of guys, and Reynolds is not locked in the way he is now. There's a lot of swings and misses, but we mentioned earlier, he's also a guy who'll take his walks.
Ball four. It's a bit ironic, isn't it? As Desmond comes up, Desmond goes down with a broken hand. He gets hit by a pitch in spring training, and I remember when it happened, you're thinking, boy, that is a huge blow to the Rockies. But to say it was a silver lining for their team is an understatement, because it got Reynolds regular playing time.
Yeah, and he's been their best guy.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of the storyline coming out of camp, and first week or two of the season was the Rockies probably more than any other team in the league impacted by injuries. And with all that, they've gotten off to a great start.
Big moment here for Hendricks in a scoreless tie. Bases loaded, one out. Desmond with a drive to center, deep enough to get Arenado in. The throw is going to go to third. Gonzalez will make it safely, and it's 1-0 Rockies.
That's okay. Desmond, a dangerous guy. He has power. He's just trying to limit damage. A trade you will gladly accept if you're the Cubs. Down near the bottom of the order. Not bottom of the order numbers for Valleca in limited playing time. He's been swinging it well.
A foul out of play.
So of Leica, like his brother Chris, who we saw in Chicago a couple years back, from the same high school as Mike Montgomery and Tyler Glass now.
William
Bob
Hart.
Walk. Yeah, there's a bunch of big leaguers from that school in California. Played his college ball at UCLA.
Swing and a miss. Inning over. Guessing that'll be an unearned run as the Rockies take the lead 1-0 after 4. Roster moves and other Cubs news. Subscribe to the Cubs Talk podcast featuring David Kaplan, Kelly Crawl, Patrick Mooney, Tony Andracki, and more. Available on Apple Podcasts or the Google Play Store. Cubs find themselves down a run. Sac fly by Ian Desmond for an unearned run. Miguel Montero leads it off here in the 5th. What's Marquez doing that the Cubs can't figure out?
Well, he's got good velocity, and he's been running it up there at times 97 miles an hour. He's got real good action on his breaking pitch. Their first look at him, so I think it's just a matter of getting used to seeing the ball out of his hand, get a feel for the velocity and the movement, see if they can make some adjustments.
See the shift. LeMahieu in shallow right. 1-2. Here it comes, and he got him. His 5th.
Yeah, that time he elevated the breaking ball a little bit. Instead of looking for that back foot swing and miss breaking pitch, just a little high spinner. Fools Montero. He can't pull the trigger. Miggy has punched out looking twice now.
Pitch to Baez is hit in the air, foul off to the right.
Yeah, so that's a pretty devastating pitch there. Especially when he's ahead, you're a little bit anxious. He throws that breaking pitch that starts in the zone and breaks off the corner and down below the knees.
Oh, strike 3.
Yeah, and then you're thinking about that curveball. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. You're thinking about waiting and trying to pick up spin, and he slips 98 right by you, right through the middle. And good work by Ryan Hannigan, the veteran catcher, leading the way here for the young right-hander.
So no hits, only that first inning walk. Just Schwarber, and now it's LaStella. Good contact his first time up, but he lined to center. These guys have been really good. Shank foul. It's 1-1. Ready for a 2-1 hit on the ground to the shortstop, Valleca. Cubs being no hit through 5 by Marquez. 1-0.
Cubs take on the Reds. First pitch is at 7:05, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a set of Joe Madden replica glasses presented by Visit Myrtle Beach. Tickets are still available for this game. Visit Cubs.com for tickets.
Wouldn't it be cool if it had his prescription too? Now you can see the world the way Joe does.
Every fifth person will receive a prescription variety.
I don't know what his prescription is. I've never tried on his glasses. Hannigan had a blue 3-run single in game 1 yesterday. He admitted after the game he thought that was an easy out. He was happy to take it. 2-1 on him. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. Rockies got an unearned run in the 4th. Cubs don't have a hit yet. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And we'd like to welcome all of our viewers in Southern Illinois watching CSN on Wabash Independent Networks. Great to have you with us. Marquez looking for his first major league hit. Knocked down by Candelario. He's got time as he gets it to Hendricks. 2 gone. It's funny how you get into these habits. It's so weird to not see Anthony Rizzo down there. It's like
it's
right-handed throwing first baseman. What's that? Nice play.
Yeah, tricky hop. He's able to knock it down. I say don't panic, but there had to be a little panic going on there. Still able to make the play.
Blackman has struck out and flied to the track. Change up, strike. Cut change up, in fact. We've got a ways to go today, but you would hate to waste this start by Kyle Hendricks. He has been extremely sharp.
Yeah, you know, the rotation has certainly had its struggles to this point in the season, but we've seen some positive signs lately. Lackey outstanding yesterday. John Lester really good in his last start. Been pretty dependable. John has. Kyle got off to a slow start, but as I mentioned, over his last 3, really good and outstanding again here today.
Not happy with the execution of that pitch. We'll regroup for a 2-2.
It may be because I know Kyle is a really good golfer, but when I watch him pitch, I feel like I'm watching a golfer. Just the way he thinks his way through a ball game. Golfers are always taught when you hit a bad shot, just move on. What's next? And you see the same thing with Kyle. Maybe a little frustration after a bad pitch, but then goes right back to work.
Jay will haul it in. So we go to the 6th. The Cubs try to get their bats going, trailing 1-zip. Mooney, our Cubs insider all season long at CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. German Marquez has silenced the Cubs bats here through 5. 1-0 pitch to Almora, pounded into the dirt. Foul.
He has not had to make many pitches from the stretch. One base runner, and that was a 2-out walk to Schwarber in the first.
Breaking ball strike. He has had a rhythm from the first pitch, has only had to pitch from the stretch to one batter. That was in the opening inning. That's foul. A little bit of a different look. He takes that step in front of him, not to the side, as he gets ready to go into his windup.
Yeah, we're in an era of minimalist deliveries in baseball. It used to be guys would take that big windmill windup, and the thought was you were generating all this energy that would propel you towards home plate. That has pretty much been debunked. It all comes from the balance point. Right there, and go.
His foot actually ahead, that left foot ahead of the right foot, and then just a little sidestep right in front of that foot.
That keeps everything pretty square to home plate, so there's not a lot of side-to-side motion to get him out of whack.
It looks awkward, but it works for him clearly. Let's see if that'll get down, and it will not. There's too much loft. Blackman easily able to get there. It's the deepest you ever took a no-hitter into a game.
2 outs in the 8th.
So at what point in the game did your stomach start to churn, or didn't it?
Never really did. Pretty much when I lost it. Mickey Hatcher broke it up. Hit a ground ball up the middle that I tried to make a play on, and probably should have left alone. Rafi Ramirez was the shortstop. He probably would have made the play.
There you go. Hendricks, and caught. Carlos Gonzalez just robbed Hendricks of what would have been the Cubs' first hit.
And the fans responding to the play by Gonzalez, and also to the fact that this keeps the no-hitter intact for Marquez. Beautiful play by the former Gold Glover out in right.
Looked like a sure hit when it left the bat. Made a couple of great diving catches in this series. So it's up to John Jay, who taps foul.
That'd be one of the most difficult things to do in sports, to pitch a no-hitter in this ballpark.
Hideo Nomo did it.
Mm-hmm. Is he the only one?
Yes, sir. (1996). Oh, 2, swing and a miss. He's through 6 without allowing a hit, and he's been incredibly efficient as well, and just got some help from his right fielder. 1-0 Rockies.
to relive the magic of last year's historic run with the official 2016 championship season Fly the W book. This features personal essays by Tom Ricketts, Theo Epstein, and others, as well as never before seen photos. For more information, visit Cubs.com/flythewbook.
And Hendricks trying to keep the Rockies close. 1 ball, 1 strike. If you're wondering, a Rocky has thrown a no-hitter. It was in Atlanta by Ubaldo Jimenez. 2010 line shot, nabbed by Baez. So he robs LeMahieu 1 away.
Solid contact for LeMahieu, but Baez right there to make the play on him.
Arenado hit into a double play in the first. Infield hit and scored the Rockies' only run in the fourth. There comes a 1-1. It's outside.
I think both these pitchers really taking advantage of the performance of the other. The half innings have been really quick. Both guys staying in rhythm.
Ground ball, diving stop, Bryant. Throw to first, got him. He gives Arenado a taste of his own medicine. 2 excellent defensive plays by Bryant today.
Second time Arenado's hit it in his direction, and he turned it into a 5-4-3 double play in the first. This time he lays out and throws him out. Pretty good for a right fielder.
Well, now he's in right, shallow right in the shift against Gonzalez.
Gonzalez has had a hard time recognizing the changeup from Hendricks here today. He's taking some bad swings. And the combination of changeups and elevated fastballs, the approach that the Cubs have taken with him.
Well, these 2 pitchers working incredibly fast, not taking much time at all between pitches. We started 50 minutes late. We're in the bottom of the 6th, where we would probably normally be if we had started on time. It's due to all those 1, 2, 3 frames you mentioned. Strike called. 3-1. Ooh, 3-2.
Get back here. We're not done yet.
Eric Cooper says your name's Cargo, but it should be Car Stop. Full count. Swing and a miss. He comes all the way back and gets him. 1-0 after 6. Don't go anywhere. Cubs bat in the 7th inning, still without a hit against German Marquez. First pitch spiked.
Yeah, so here's the challenge for Marquez now. He's been rolling along with this one batter at a time mentality. You get to this stage of the game with a no-hitter going, it's hard not to look ahead. And when you do that, you start to work out of the zone, because instead of just, I'm trying to get hitters out, now I'm trying not to give up a hit.
2-0.
I'm not saying that's what he's doing or that's what he's thinking, but it certainly would be understandable if that's what's going on in his mind right now.
Line shot. It's fair, and the Cubs have their first hit, and they're going to have the tying run in scoring position. Leadoff double.
A good start here to the 7th. A ringing double off the bat of Bryant. He got into a hitter's count, got a challenge fastball. Looked like it was supposed to be away, but it was middle in. Boing, boing, boing. Into the corner it goes.
So the no-hitter is history, and now Marquez just trying to maintain the lead. And there's stretching going on in the Rockies bullpen. I think there are two levels of no-hitters in terms of how a manager looks at it. One would be if you're up 9-0 and you've got a low pitch count, I mean, you're rooting openly for your guy to get it. But when it's a really tight game like this, a part of Bud Black's brain had to be thinking, oh, if he gives up a hit, it's going to be easier for me to set up my bullpen the way I want to.
Right, or yeah, if I have a favorable matchup that I want to use, but I feel like I can't do it because the kid's got a no-no going.
Right. A little slip, but he was not too far off second. So Schwarber's out 1-3. And here's Candelario.
I think this is the kind of game too where a manager can get caught short a little bit, not realizing how deep into the game you are because it's gone so fast. I've heard managers make that point before. It's, man, I looked up, we were in the 7th inning, and I better get somebody up just in case I have to respond.
Low for a ball. As JD mentioned, they got him from Tampa Bay prior to last year. Made his debut in 2016. Born in San Felix, Venezuela. Just 22 years old. Signed with the Rays back in 2011 when he was a teenager. Here's the pitch. Line foul.
A little bit off the mark with that fastball, and Candelario almost made him pay. It's plus heater, plus curveball. Changeup needs some work. Throughout his minor league career, he's always worked low walk rates. So that should set him up to have success at this level.
Swing and a miss. And again, we'll have to fire it to Reynolds to complete the play. That is his 8th strikeout.
Well, chance for Montero to be a hero here, and punched out twice looking. So maybe the 3rd time's the charm for Miggy. The Cubs as a team coming into this game are batting .224 with runners in scoring position. It was last in the National League. But overall, still tied for 4th in the league in runs scored.
Bryant started the inning with a double. He is still at second. Probably should have been a strike, but called ball one. Marquez has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Mayhew will go get it. He's got time. And he throws out Montero, so Marquez gives up his first hit, but still hasn't allowed a run.
Luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer for your next client, corporate, or family function, like the all-inclusive Fannie Mae suite located in center field. Visit Cubs.com/premier for an option that fits your needs. It's a suite, S-W-E-E-T, Fannie Mae. Clever wordplay there.
Bottom of the seventh. What I would call a pitcher's duel, but the bylaws of baseball broadcasting stipulate that I have to say a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel has to be described thusly. Reynolds has walked 5 times in his last 6 plate appearances.
1 run in the ball game unearned, just 3 hits total. One of the 2 that Hendricks has allowed, just a little broken bat soft liner by Arenado. He's given up very little hard contact. A couple balls hit hard for outs.
Reynolds didn't think so, but Eric Cooper's opinion the only one that ultimately matters. 1 and 2. Desmond and then Valleca. Ground ball into left. And that shot past Bryant before he had a chance to leave his feet. Hit really hard. So Reynolds stays hot. Desmond's sac fly in the 4th, the reason the Rockies have the lead. Outside for a ball. Carl Edwards Jr. firing fastballs in the bullpen. And a few breaking balls too. Blocked by Montero. 2 balls, no strikes. I have to look to see if the Cubs have had back-to-back 7-inning starts all season.
I'm going to guess not.
Slicing drive, John Jay will get under it, and they have not. They have had 4 starts of 7 innings in their first 33 games. 2 outs away from getting consecutive 7-inning starts after John Lackey pitched that gem last night.
See if Bud Black tries to play a little hit and run here. Create a little something at the bottom of his order.
And that shot of Lackey, I recall you telling me that the best day for a starting pitcher in a baseball season is the day after you pitch like Lackey did.
Yeah, you're just hanging out. You got 4 days off before you pitch again, basking in the glow of that performance. Used to be you could always tell, and doesn't happen so much anymore, but back in the day when teams took BP every day and it was the pitcher's responsibility to keep the bucket out behind second base.
Shot in the right. Reynolds will hold at second. 2 on with 1 out.
And a lot of times that job would fall to the previous day's starting pitcher to keep the bucket. So during BP, the balls are hit all over the field and they're thrown back in. And there's a screen out there out in short center field, and the pitcher would gather them up, put them in the bucket, run them into the mound when the batting practice pitcher needed more balls. And if the pitcher had a good game the day before, he'd be out there shooting hoops and goofing around. And if he had a bad day, there'd be all the balls laying on the ground around him. He wouldn't be putting them in the bucket.
Right. That's it for Hendricks. So not able to get through 7, but
yeah, he's like,
tell he's not happy.
Out, yeah.
Yep. Well, most starters aren't happy to be taken out. Joe's going to make the call. 2 on, 1 out in the 7th, and we'll be back. Hendricks terrific today, at this point allowing just 1 unearned run.
Yeah, brilliant work. Fastball command, the changeup, baffling Gonzalez there. Ability to add a little bit. We saw him at 87, elevated a couple of times at least this afternoon. Just a beautiful performance. Clearly frustrated coming out of this game. And it's not like he hasn't performed well. I think he's just saying, look, we need to keep this ball out of play here And I feel like Edwards is my best chance to do that in this situation.
So CJ facing a first and second, 1 out situation as he works to Ryan Hannigan. And a curve for a strike. It is the Weber Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs.
Well, brilliant work so far for Carl. 19 punch outs in 14 innings. 4 walks and 0.64 ERA.
Swing and a miss.
So, you know, you could argue, well, wait a minute. Hendricks has already punched out Hannigan twice. Why wouldn't you leave him in there? Well, because Hannigan's already had 2 looks at him. Want to give him a different look. Did he earn the right to stay in this game? Absolutely. Manager has to make his decision based on what's going to happen from this point of the game going forward.
We'll see what the Rockies have in mind with the pitcher Marquez on deck. And a lot of that will depend on what happens here to Hannigan. One and two. 35,213. The paid crowd today. Waited out a rain delay of just under an hour. Everybody bundled up. Temperatures in the low 50s. Up and in to make it 2-2.
Challenge for these high leverage relievers on the road when you think about it. Coming into a situation like this, unfamiliar ballpark, 1-run game, man in scoring position.
Edwards will get the out at first.
The ex-pitcher and Buddy Black would have a real hard time pulling Marquez for a pinch hitter in this situation.
I thought he might.
Yeah, others would. It would be an understandable move.
Young pitcher, he's given you 7 shutout, 1-hit innings, 82 pitches, and a chance here with 2 in scoring position to add to the lead. He should have a pretty rested bullpen, but yeah, he's going to let him start the 8th.
Let him start the 8th with an eye towards letting him finish the ball game, because that's the real advantage of keeping him in here. If your thought was you're only going to get 1 more inning out of him, then probably absolutely hit for him.
Look at that. It's going to score 2. First major league hit for Marquez, and it's 3-0. And if Buddy tells you after the game he knew he was going to do that, don't believe him.
Well, the kid is having a day. Nobody saw this one coming. Boy, so many really good major league hitters have a hard time getting on top of that high fastball from Edwards. Marquez able to go up there and hit a rocket to drive in 2.
That swing of the bat sent Kyle Hendricks' ERA from 2.95 to 3.40. 3 runs, 2 earned. So the book is closed on the starter.
This kid going to do steal a base now?
The job just got tougher for the Cubs offense, down 3 with 6 outs to go. 0-2 to Blackmon. Swing and a miss to end the 7th. But German Marquez with a 2-run single. It's now 3-0 Rockies. The Cubs on the Go live stream. All CSN Chicago Cub games at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports app. Presented by State Farm. I totally butchered that. On the Go live stream. There we go. Okay. A young Hideo Nomo, 1996. The only no-hitter here at Coors Field.
Nomo's second year in the major leagues. He had that devastating split finger pitch.
Dante Bichette took some swings today for charity here at the ballpark. He took some one-handed cuts.
Yeah, they had a couple former Rockies out here. Former Avalanche players and Nuggets. The hockey guy had a very impressive swing.
Francois Beauchemin.
Yeah, that guy.
He was really good. Bounce to the shortstop, Valleca. He gets Baez. I would say he was showing off by this point, but I don't think he was particularly happy with the early part of his
I think he was a little frustrated. The two-handed part of it wasn't going so well.
Lake Street Bombers.
Yeah. Andres Galarraga. Vinny Castilla, who also took some swings here today. Vinny used to say, if you're going to throw it by me, you better be hitting triple digits.
Two strikes to La Stella. Marquez, as a big league pitcher, into today, 15 appearances, 12 starts, 1-7 with a .668. He has not looked like that pitcher today. Elias reporting he's the 5th Rocky. Base hit. To toss at least 6 no-hit innings here, including Pedro Estacio, who did it twice. Then Zobrist will hit for Almora.
Well, as we say every time we come here, things can happen in a hurry in this ballpark.
That's Hector Rondon on the Cubs bullpen. Man on, 1 out.
Double play depth up the middle for the Rockies. Room on the right side of the infield for Zobrist if he can pull one. Go a little first to third.
Ground ball, right field. Back-to-back singles, bringing the tying run to the plate.
Well, I got the base hit through the hole, but no first to third. No need to push it down 3. Gonzalez got to that ball in good shape.
Looked like Wilson Contreras was going to pinch hit. He has gone back into the dugout. Might it be Anthony Rizzo? No, it will be Contreras. While he gets ready, apply for an all-digital no-fee loan now at eclicklending.com. eClick is located right here in Chicagoland and rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. eClick Lending. Boom! Your mortgage just happened.
Time to revisit the scouting report on Wilson Contreras.
While a light rain starts to fall. Adbert Alzolay of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans took a no-hitter into the 7th. He fired a complete game shutout today in a 1-0 win at Winston-Salem, but the Pelicans lost game 2 5-1. The Dash, they beat the Dash.
The Dash of where?
Winston-Salem, because it's got a dash.
Of the hyphen, yeah.
Strike 1 on Contreras. Double-A Tennessee Smokies lost to Jackson 2-0 in the Southern League.
McGee and Ottavino up. Wilson 1 out of 5 as a pinch hitter this year. Cubs have excelled in that regard, batting .333 in the pinch. Second only to the Cardinals, are hitting over .400.
One ball, 1 strike. The pitch, 1-2.
Going to slow the heart rate down. Try to stay calm in the batter's box. Don't get too anxious.
Mayhew will get Contreras. Second and third, 2 outs as Reynolds took a tumble. Not sure if he got stepped on or what. Let's see. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He's got a foot right on top of the bag, putting himself in harm's way there.
So he'll
That
get
could have been
checked
ugly
out
for both guys. Instead of having that foot on the inside of the bag, he's standing right on top of it. Well, it's been a miserable day for the Chief Justice so far. 0 for 3, all strikeouts. Chance for a little redemption. Got Chris Bryant on deck.
low and in. Pitcher and catcher will discuss.
It might have been the "this is the guy we want to get" conversation, because that man's next. And in all likelihood, somebody else will come into the ballgame for the Rockies if Bryant gets an at bat here. No, sir, too high. Well, I mentioned Cooper at the outset that he's traditionally been big up and down. That was way up there.
Battle time, down 1-2. Bounce to Arenado, gloves, throws, and gets him. Marquez gets out of it. Still 3-0 in the 8th.
Suggests taking public transportation. Cap takes a limo. That's how he gets there. The Cubs offer a free bike check located by the Addison Red Line station. For drivers, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com.
Here's Hector Rondon. Cubs trailing 3-0, bottom of the 8th.
Hey, he would like to forget the last time he was out there. That was the blown save and subsequent loss to the Yankees when he gave up the 3-run home run to Brett Gardner. That would have been on a Friday against the Yankees. So he's had to live with that for a few days. For the year, Hector 0-1, 3.65 ERA.
Mayhew looks at a fastball in the zone, 0-1. Well, if the Cubs are going to come back in the night, it will likely be against Greg Holland. Still 0-2. Then he struck him out on a foul tip. Friday, Dexter Fowler gets a visit from his former team as the Cubs head to St. Louis. Coverage starts at 7 on CSN. Well, you can stream live at csnchicago.com. Not sure Dexter will be in the lineup. He's been battling a sore shoulder. He did come off the bench and provide the game-winning hit last night in Miami. Arenado in the air. Right field corner and out of play. So right now you've got Contreras in right. You've got Bryant in center. Schwarber in left. Zobrist playing second. And the pitch. Hard hit grounder foul.
Stella moves to third. Addison Russell was originally in the starting lineup today, scratched with a sore right shoulder.
Love to see Bryant go get him out in center in this big yard.
The player with the Phillies that did so well in that series at Wrigley, he's remained red hot. He's hit 3-run home runs in each of the last 3 days. He hit 2 home runs today.
Not a ton of room back at the plate, and Montero will not have a play.
Phillies, however, lost today to the Mariners 11-6. The Mariners won both of those games in that interleague series, 10-9 last night. 11-6 today, but that Altair, wow, he is legit.
A base hit. Time now for the Giga Time moment, powered by Xfinity. Now Hendricks was trying for the Cubs' first hit and robbed by Cargo out in right. That was in the 6th. Cubs eventually would get a leadoff double from Chris Bryant in the 7th and a couple of singles in the 8th. Bryant drifting. He's got it. 2 outs.
Hitters usually like to come to Denver to get to Coors Field and fatten up the batting averages, but that has not been the case for the Cubs in this series. Giants scored 4 in the top of the 9th today and then hung on to beat the Mets 6-5. They got to Familia, their closer.
Now I said if the Cubs are going to come back, it'll be against Holland. That might be an only in an emergency, because Marquez has thrown 82 pitches. So as you referenced earlier, Bud Black may give him a chance to finish it. Two strikes to Reynolds.
Cubs are going to mount a comeback. Get the right guys up. Chris Bryant will lead off the 9th.
Who turned on the air conditioning? It has kicked up a little bit, and it is cold. Swing and a miss. And that will take us to the 9th. Rondon with a scoreless 8th. It's 3-0 Rockies.
Cubs Baseball Live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball.
Last chance, and it'll be against Greg Holland, who goes for his major league leading 14th save. Off to a terrific start. Coming back from Tommy John surgery. He was not with a major league organization last year as he recovered. Two-time All-Star and was the reliever of the month in the NL in April. Other than that, he's just okay.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good. Back-to-back years with 40-plus saves for the Royals in 2013 and 14. Hannigan sees something in his delivery he would like to address.
Had to be tough for Holland as he got hurt and couldn't pitch in the postseason for the world champs in 2015. He did. And they won the pennant the year before that. Hefty home run leaders Bryant last night with number 7. 2-1. In fact, Holland had Tommy John surgery on October 2nd of 2015. So just as the Royals were starting that postseason run. But that in turn opened the door for Wade Davis. Davis did not allow a run in that postseason in 8 appearances. Fouled back.
Slider's always been a go-to pitch for Holland. The heater away here, looks like.
On the ground, Valleca. 1 out. And it'll bring up Schwarber. Normally Schwarber bats 1 spot ahead of Bryant, but hitting 3rd in the lineup this afternoon. By the way, you can't hold your hands up a whole lot higher than Holland does once he gets in that set position. Watch how high his hands are.
He always keeps the ball separate from the glove. Times when pitchers are consistently high, pitching coach will tell them you got to break your hands a little bit earlier, get that arm up on top so you can get the ball down. So he kind of starts with his hands already apart.
Out. That ball was crunched just past the Rockies dugout. Schwarber steps off as all the players on the field are focused in on that section and hoping everybody is all right. Two strikes on Kyle. Fans are cheering over there, so that's hopefully a good sign. Deep to right and foul.
Holland signing a one-year deal for $7 million plus an option.
Not tall, but he's put together. He's 5'10", 214. Swing and a miss. And again, we'll get it to Reynolds. And the Cubs down to the final chance. 2 outs. And it's a switch hitting Candelario. Jamer is 0 for 3. Cubs have been limited to 3 hits. Swing and a miss.
He's not a real big guy, 5'10", 205. Some deception in his delivery. He's not throwing it up there 97, 98 miles an hour like a lot of guys, but he's got, he's got a good heater.
Candelario stays alive. Montero on deck. Need a couple of base runners to get the tying run to the plate. Now the tying run is in the dugout in the form of Javier Baez. Hit of the game had to be the Marquez 2-run single in the 7th. The pitcher gave the Rockies those 2 big insurance runs. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and the Rockies take 2 of 3 to send the Cubs back to 500. An off day in St. Louis tomorrow. The Cubs will start their weekend set against the Cardinals at 17-17.
So it's such an atypical game for Coors Field. You don't see many like this one here today, and you mentioned at mid-game it would be a shame to waste the effort that the Cubs got from Kyle Hendricks today, but tip of the cap to German Marquez, the rookie right-hander, was brilliant this afternoon. No hitter through 6. He ends up pitching 8 shutout innings.
2 hours 14 minutes after a 50-minute rain delay. Toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. German Marquez was brilliant.
Yeah, plus stuff. A mid-90s heater, well placed. The swing and miss curveball. It's pretty much all he needed. He tried a couple of change-ups. They weren't particularly effective. And then that swing of the bat right there, that was the nail in the coffin.
Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. And for JD, for Kelly, and our entire CSN crew here at Coors Field, Len Casper with your final. Once again, the Rockies 3, the Cubs nothing. We're back with you Friday, 7 o'clock from St. Louis here on CSN. And stay tuned, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is next.